a mirror this is this morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here just for fun. I saw you post yesterday welcoming men to the community, so thank you for showing up today. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Katie. Good morning, Lawton. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, listen, I have zero makeup on, and I'm still gold, so I don't know what's going on. I thought it was my bronzer. It's not. I just have golden skin. Good morning, Reese Cup. Alex. Good morning, you badass warriors. We have a couple new people here today, and I'm so glad to have you with us. I'll introduce myself. I am Yvonne. Thanks. Good morning. I'm Trish of this NARCS account. I'm a coach, a narcissistic abuse recovery coach, and a survivor of narcissistic abuse. Today is World Narcissistic Abuse. Oh, geez, I can't even get it out this morning. It's done. Somebody else want to say it for me? World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. I'm glad you're shining today. Hi, Brooke. You know what? Everybody is freaking amazing. I put a post out yesterday that was sparked by another one. It is a tongue twister. It's a total tongue twister. But it was sparked by another one where someone who had been following me said he was going to unfollow me because that was it. He was unfollowing me because I don't speak into the abuse for men. So yesterday I put out a post inviting men of narcissistic abuse to step forward and be part of this conversation, because we can't be aware if you don't speak up. And there were a few gentlemen that came forward yesterday and started sharing their story. And I just want to recognize and acknowledge that we see you, we believe you, we understand that this happens to men also. So thank you for having the courage and the audacity to speak into something that is so difficult for any survivor. And as a man, I can only imagine what it's like for you to awaken to this kind of abuse that you've been through. So I just want to acknowledge you, send you love, and thank you for being here. I know we've got a new one here today, so thank you so much for having the courage. Because women, us as women, we struggle with finding that courage to have those conversations. So here's to you. Thank you for showing up. Do you ever make coffee and then wonder if there's any coffee in it? That's what's going on here. So the telesummit for World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day doesn't start until this afternoon. I had big plans to get started this morning, which is why I have no makeup and didn't bother getting ready, because I thought, I'm just going to be sitting in front of my computer today. It doesn't start until this afternoon. So now I have this morning to see what to go through the guide and see what I want to take in. I encourage any of you who can go. It's WNAAD.com. And it's a telesummit. Everything's free for the first 24 hours. And but you can purchase it too, so that you have lifetime access. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what some of the speakers have to say. I'm very curious. It blows my mind every day, the things that I continue to learn about this abuse. You know, it's just it's incredible. It's incredible. So last night, The narc and I used to be huge concert goers. And once we split, I stopped going to shows because Edmonton's very small. And the venues here, we have large venues, but we both typically go to shows that are at smaller venues. And there was a show playing here. Avatar was in town. They're from Sweden. They're this insanely talented metal band, and I wanted to go see them so badly, but I didn't buy a ticket. I didn't buy a ticket because the venue is like maybe holds 1,000 people at best, and I didn't want to take the chance of running into him. But I decided to go at the last minute because I don't want to be held captive because I might, from going to the shows that I enjoy and taking in life, because I might run into him. I literally live 2 minutes away from him. If I'm going to run into him, I might run into him closer to home, but I just had to take stock and say, no, like, I get to decide for myself, for my life, and continue to have fun. He doesn't get to hold me hostage anymore. So I decided at the last minute to go. Very last minute. Somebody posted that they had an extra ticket in the event on Facebook. So I met up with the guy, and he gave me the ticket for free. Didn't even ask me for money. Didn't ask me for anything. Gave me the ticket, turned around and walked away. And I thought, okay, I gotta go in. Here I go. And I found out he wasn't there. I ran into one of my friends that he's latched onto. And that pisses me off, but that's a whole nother story. So I found out that he wasn't going to be there, and I just relaxed and enjoyed the show. And I thought, what if he is there? Like, before I went, what if he is there? And Denise is on here. So some of you who are new and aren't familiar with Denise, she was the woman who was in a relationship with the narc before I was. And so Denise and I went for a bite to eat and a drink before I went to the show. And she's like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if he's there? I said, I'll just text you, troll. If he's there, that's the only word you're going to get from me. And we'll discuss it in the morning, because I don't know how I'm going to handle myself. And I was grateful that he wasn't there and that I got to enjoy the show. But one of these days, I'm going to run into him. And then what? And so I was talking to this friend of mine that he latched onto, and I'm really pissed off about this because he's been my friend for 30 years, and he doesn't know about the abuse. But I'm struggling right now with, how do I have this conversation and go, you're my friend. Why are you going to Vegas with him to go to a concert? Like, why are you going to concerts with the ex instead of being my friend and coming to the concerts with me? So I'm a little pissy about that, but I'll deal with it. I'll figure it out. It's not that he's super close friends with him. He's just going to concerts with him. How long have I been a survivor? Thank you, Katie. I was with him for 6.5 years. I've been gone since December 1st. This last time, gone December 1st. I did go back 5 times. I want to talk about a statistic here. Statistically, I don't want you beating yourself up if you've gone back and then left again and gone back and left again, because statistically, the abused will return to their abuser 7 times before they realize that it's not love and they're being abused. So I went back 5. And this last time I left, there was a lot of mental preparation before I did leave. Like a year's mental preparation before I left. So when I was long gone, mentally, emotionally, I was long gone and gray rocking him way before I ever left physically. And that's an important thing to do, is gray rock the shit out of these narcissists. Because they love that. Right, Lawton? Is anybody, I think I asked, but I didn't see many responses. Is anybody attending the telesummit today? I'm going to take any of it. Take any of it in. Yes, yes, yes. It's going to be amazing, you guys. I think, the more we educate ourselves and become aware of what we've been through, the more we can find ways to help other people understand. Imagine how difficult it is for us to understand what we've been through. And then and if we don't understand it, how can we explain it to somebody who's never been through it before? That's extremely difficult, extremely difficult. So I think the more we learn about how insidious this abuse is, it's, Katie, it's WNAAD.com. WNAAD.com. I'll also make a post about it today. The attitude that they have when you diminish their power is pretty infantile. We need to educate ourselves. This is part of our healing. This is also part of our awareness, so that we can identify other narcissists. If you check on the, Caitlin, it's different time zones everywhere. Like, it starts at different time zones. So just check the website, WNAAD.com, and it'll show you what time it starts in your time zone. But we need to continue to educate ourselves and educate others. So today I'm talking about it. I'm going to talk about it on Facebook. I'm going to talk about it with anyone who wants to listen. I might go to a memorial tonight. I'm not sure yet. But if I do, there's someone there who wants to thank me for this work I'm doing. And I just, I forget that it's work. I never thought ever in my life that I would look forward to focusing on the narc, and actually be excited about bringing information to you guys, or learning and reading. And I never thought that I would be doing this work in a million years. And I think about how blessed I am to have this community that supports one another, and I'm just kind of all over the place today. I'm all over the place. That happens sometimes. I didn't come here with any real focused thing today. I was pretty excited that I went to a concert last night. And I think I showed up here in December as someone who just wanted to heal. And it was my other Instagram account, and that I hadn't even started this one. And there was a post by Life After Narc that came up in my feed somehow. I don't know why. Somebody had shared it or something, and so it was a post from Life After Narc, and I read it, and then I started following them, and then I started realizing that there's this whole community of narcissistic abuse survivors. So then I thought, well, I want to be part of this community. And I just started this account with no intention of anything other than to connect with other survivors and just heal. That's it, just heal. And then it took on a life of its own. Then I learned that when I was looking for therapists, there were none that were versed in this abuse. Yeah, they understood it through a textbook, but they didn't understand it. They didn't understand this abuse. I had a great therapist, coaches, my doctor. I had a great support team, but there was still something missing. So I took my own I got my own certifications so that I could apply the healing I was doing to this abuse and be able to assist other survivors in their healing also. So that's how I became a narcissistic abuse recovery coach. I just saw a need, and I felt a calling to do more than just post memes here. And I'm not judging anybody who's here to do just that. That's okay. I just felt that there was a pull for more. And I started showing up and doing more, and then started working with survivors and coaching them. And the gifts that I get from them are just incredible. I feel so privileged. To just blame me because I was the son. Yeah, and this is the thing. When you go to therapists and they're not aware of this abuse, it actually many people have been shamed by their therapist as the ones with the problem. You know, and I think that's part of the problem with this abuse, is that people don't see it. They don't see it. They can't recognize it. So how can you treat something that you don't recognize? You know, and so I just saw this need and a calling, and here I am every morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I love every bit of it. I love, as much as it saddens me sometimes, to think that we're all here because we've been abused. We're all connected because we're survivors of abuse. That's heavy some days. You know, it's really heavy some days. And other days, I just feel so privileged to be part of this. Well, every day I feel privileged to be part of this community. And I feel privileged to witness my clients transform, and that they've chosen me to help be part of that. Does it ever become exhausting? Sometimes, you know, I have, because of this work, I still have a lot of nightmares. I had a really good one the other day, though, where he died. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you know what? If you've heard anything about my story here, and I used to wish for him to die. I used to wish for myself to die. I didn't care. I just wanted this pain to end. So I actually had a dream the other day where he died by poison. It was quite therapeutic, actually. Anyway, I want to see some of the comments here. Yeah, a lot, and that is how we started talking. He commented, and this is how our community grows, and this is how we continue to connect and support and love one another here, is we just comment. People ask, well, how do I become part of this community? Well, if you just ask to be part of this community and you're commenting on people's stuff, you already are. You already are. You know, and that's how we connect, and that's how we stay bonded. And as sad as it is that we're all here for the same reason, it's really beautiful that we have this community here. I agree with what you just said. I've had therapists do that, and also all my family, friends think I'm the problem and are blind to the fact that my parents were abusive and are narcissists. And you know what? That's so true, and it's so hard. I see the ex-narc's daughter, you know, going for therapy, and I think, God, that poor kid. Then I don't know anything about what's going on with her now. But if you're just joining us today for the first time, I'm pretty random today. It's Saturday, and I had a super fun time last night, and I'm still kind of in that energy and just happy to be here, really grateful for this life that I have. And the simple things, like I took Penny for a walk this morning, and we went to the park, and she can run. Man, can that dog run. And she's so funny and endearing, and just watching her brings so much joy to my life. And it's the simple things that I never got to relish in when I was with the narcissist, because everything I enjoyed was stupid and ridiculous. So now I really appreciate all of it. I appreciate all of it. And I think that's important when you're coming out of these relationships, is to remember that this is your life. It's your life, and you get to really embrace it and make it what you want now. We're all at different stages of our healing. So sometimes a message that I'll share will connect with you, and sometimes it won't, and that's okay. It's going to reach who needs to hear it that day. I see messages, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. I needed to be reminded. I have CPTSD and has childhood abuse trauma, and it started in developmental years. And at 29 years old, it's like I am waking up to what really went on and trying to get help. It's so hard and so confusing. Hi, Caitlin. I hope that you have someone, a support system, a therapist or a coach who's versed in this abuse. Some people have more to manage because they've been children of narcissistic abuse, and that's how you're raised. That's how you're raised. It's different when you're leaving a relationship than it is when you're being programmed by narcissists. And I think that if you found someone that can work with you in the CPTSD and the trauma and all of that stuff, stick with that person. Stick with that person. Reese Cup says, how do you handle when the narc has the family believing he's the victim because I divorced him, and he says he is taking care of our children, but he doesn't just get back at me for leaving? He plays the victim so well. They all play the victim so well. All play the victim so well. How many times have I told you that the narcissist threatened to kill my dog, and now he's telling everybody that I stole his dog and he misses his dog? They all play the victim so well. And it's why it's like Denise and I were talking this morning, about my friend that he's latched on to go to these concerts with. My friend can't see what I saw. So these narcs come across as so charming that they're able to brainwash everybody around them, especially when they only see them once in a while and they're not behind closed doors with them. They are Academy Award-winning actors. They're the best out there. So nobody can actually see the truth of who they are. So it's hard for people to believe. I remember when I first started telling people about the abuse that I went through, the only one that ever believed me, that could actually say, oh yeah, my God, me too, was Denise, because she'd been through it with the same narc. I'm very blessed to have this relationship with her. We have a very unique relationship. And not everyone gets that. But we used to get really stuck in that pain loop too when we were first discovering everything, because it was we were like, oh my God, me too. Oh my God, me too. And we couldn't actually, it was like somebody finally was able to validate what I went through. Someone was able to validate what she went through and to realize that this was actual abuse. But they get new supplies because they're so charming. And they're so, God, they're charming. really pisses me off. Because I sit there and I'm like, if you could only see who they are, if you could only see him for who he is, you'd never look at him the same way again. So how do you handle that? Just don't engage in conversation about him with those people. And if you have to have conversation with them about him for any reason, about kids or whatever, gray rocket. Gray rocket, man. Seriously. Keep any conversation about him flat, dry, boring. You don't want to talk about him. I spent about 5 to 6 hours researching when the light bulb went off. And you know what? Isn't that crazy? When the light goes off, it's like, holy shit! I want to know everything. I became obsessed with reading and researching, not knowing that it was going to serve me for what I do now. But I became obsessed with researching everything, that it does become exhausting. And I had to, I live and breathe narcissistic abuse recovery. That's my work. So, and it's like I can't even get enough information some days. And other days I need to shut my brain off, and I don't know how. I'm learning to try to walk away, but it's hard when my parents use finances to keep me coming back. I've gone no contact recently, but I can't afford being completely independent. And this is how they abuse you. Financial abuse is real. It's totally real. Always had a feeling the narc was an asshole, but when I looked up narcissism, those hours went by in 30 minutes. Desiree says, Lot and I did a full-on research for months. Obsession. Yes, I was fascinated by the whole thing. It is fascinating to learn that this is a disorder. This is a personality disorder. I used to get so frustrated because I thought, with all of this energy he has to put toward being angry about everything in life, and how he gets so obsessed with things like porn and women, total misogynist, I used to think if you could just take this energy and do some good with it, you might feel a little happier. But when I first learned that this is almost an impossible thing, that this is a personality disorder, all I wanted to do is keep learning more and more and more. And we do become obsessed with learning about this stuff because it validates everything that we've been through and allows us to find some freedom and relief in knowing that it wasn't our fault. It wasn't our fault. It's 9:29. It does protect you. I think, though, we need to be aware that we can protect ourselves, but not everyone out there is a narcissist. And we need to be able to differentiate the difference, because so many people shut themselves down, don't want to date again, don't want to take a chance at love, and that's okay. But we need to allow ourselves to live and love our lives. Just like me going to that concert last night. I didn't want him to have that kind of control over me anymore. If I run into him, I'll just walk away. I hope. There, he did get offed in my dream the other night, so. Anyway, I went to see Avatar last night. If you guys Google YouTube Avatar, it's a heavy metal band out of Sweden. They're insanely good. Okay, Reese Cup, I want to say something here. Through learning about narcissism, I realize now mental illness is just as severe as anything else. This is not an illness. This is not a mental health illness. This is this is a personality disorder. Mental health issues can be treated with medication, exercise, diet, all of that, depending on what mental health issue you're managing. But this is a personality disorder and cannot be cured, cannot be treated, cannot be rehabilitated. They cannot change. They are incapable of change. You know what? I'm going to go past the half hour because you guys are asking great questions. Caitlin says, what would you say one should do with other family and family friends who accuse you of lying about the abusers and what happened was BS? Do you go no contact with them too? First of all, you can just stop talking about it with them. Lawton, Caitlin, if you talk to Lawton, he deals with family members. He deals with this situation. Maybe connect with him through DM after this, but pardon me, allergies. But Lawton is really good with managing this, and he reaches out whenever he's got questions about it. But you know what? Don't talk to them about it. Other family members aren't going to believe it, so yeah, Lawton just said he'd talk with you. But if they're toxic to you, then yeah, go no contact with them too. I'm not from America. So, Hippie Mama asked, why can't they change? Because they lack certain personality traits that they lack self-reflection. They lack the ability to self-reflect. They have no regret, no remorse. They have no empathy. So because they lack these things, they don't have that ability to self-reflect and see anything wrong with their behavior. They don't believe that there's anything wrong with them, that everyone else is the problem. They do lack a conscience. You know, people are here to serve them. They have this grandiose idea of who they are, and it's not something that can be treated. There's a documentary in my link tree. If you go to the link in my bio, a link tree will pop up, and there's a documentary in there. It's 18 minutes long, and I encourage everyone to watch it today. It's Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. I encourage everyone to watch it, please. It's 18 minutes. There is a man in there, a narcissist, who is at a conference speaking to survivors of this abuse and telling them why he does what he does and how he's incapable of change. It's very educational. It's 18 minutes long. Please watch today. It's in my link tree, Desiree. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in the link in my bio, and you open it up and there's the documentary in there. I can't remember what it's called. Yes, it is Sam Varkin. And Sam Varkin's here on Instagram also. So if you follow him here, you might get a little pissed off and a little triggered from time to time. But he's very educational about narcissism. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling today. I hope you guys got something out of this. What's going on with my hair? Yeah, Lawton is, I think you're going to be a good help for Caitlin. Thank you for stepping up and doing that. See, this is what we do for each other here. We connect, we support, we love. And, yeah. Anyway, it's 9:35. It's time to go. So if you click the link in my bio, you're going to see a few things there. It'll pop open a link tree. At the top is the course, the workshop, Discovering Your Inner Badass. Ciao, love. That I made a post yesterday that released the outline for that course. It's $99 Canadian. It is 3 hours of a Saturday morning on June 22nd, and we're gonna get down to some heavy duty work there and have some fun. It's a live interaction. So there's that. There's the link for the YouTube on Sam Varkin and that short documentary. There's also a link for my YouTube so that you can go back and watch these lives on replay. You just won't see all the comments here. And I hope some of you get to take in that telesummit today. I'm going to take in a few things today and then visit it another time. I hope you enjoy today. Tomorrow is our narc-free Sunday, hopefully. Last Sunday was weird and we were invaded by 2 narcs. It is sad that what we've been through, but it's a beautiful thing that we can support each other. And that's what we do. That's what we do here. Thank you all for showing up this morning and listening to my rambling. Have a good Saturday. Enjoy your day. I love you. Keeping you all in my highest energy of love and healing always. Stay badass and go rock the day.